Hi everyone, this is Tom Simmons coming to you from somewhere between the parsnips and the peppers at Dungeon Dragon Farm in Chester, Vermont. And this is my introductory video to Business 105 Personal Financial Literacy. And I chose this location because I know recently there's been an upswing in the tendency towards having home gardens and doing a lot of grow it yourself. And a friend of mine and I were having a conversation about this, and he didn't understand it. He said, I don't get it. You people go out and buy a $13 tomato plant so you can produce 3 tomatoes that would cost you $3 in the supermarket. Why bother? And in some ways, he's right. But for us and our 2,000 square feet of gardens here, we didn't just go out and buy plants. We thought about this year's crop last year. And that means that a year ago at this time, we were opening up tomatoes and saving seeds and drying them so that we could plant seedlings of our own in February, so we could plant them in May, so we could have 250 tomato plants producing crops. And that's a really good way to think about your financial health. It's not a sudden decision. It's not something you do on the spur of the moment or fly by the seat of your pants. In order to be financially sound, and in order to be able to live out a plan, you need to think about it early, and you need to take time, and you need to implement that plan. So for this particular course, I'm going to make it a little easy for you. First of all, there are no Zoom meetings or any times when we all need to be together in the same place, in the same room, or on the same computer screen at once. This is what we call an asynchronous course, which means every week on the weekend I will post the material for the next week, and you will do it as you are able to get to it. So I realize some of you are having some difficulty juggling schedules with public school systems and work. So you have maximum flexibility. Second, I do not require any text in this course. It would be ironic in a personal financial literacy course to tell you to run out and buy $150 or $250 text, when all of the information you need is available for free online. And so each week I will post the readings and links to particular sites that I actually want you to read. Now, as we approach this subject of personal financial literacy, I know many of you are coming from different places, and you will all bring different emotions to the table. Some of you might be in a state of panic because of changes in your job since this COVID crisis has hit. Some of you may just be in denial, figuring that if those bills that come in just get unopened and put on a desk somewhere, that they really don't exist. And of course they do. And for some of you, this is an exciting course because you actually are in a good place, and you want to know, how can I get ahead? How can I do even better? How can I take what I've got and expand it? So we're all coming from different places. The approach I'm taking in this course is to start with very basic issues, such as a household budget. How do you really implement a budget? How do you decide what elements need to go into that budget? And what are the issues that you forget about including in that budget? Because a lot of people will say, I was doing great until a surprise happened. Well, surprises happen. That's part of life. And we can plan ahead for meeting those surprises. After budgeting, we will then move into credit and credit cards and your credit report. And if there's a single place where many of us fall down, that is the area. And we need to take control of the credit and not let the credit take control of us. And for many young people, this is one of the biggest problems that they're going to encounter. And we're going to provide tips for how to do that, for making sure that you are in charge. Then we'll move ahead into investments and retirement. And on the one hand, sometimes I get students that are in their 50s and they say, well, it's too late to start planning for retirement now. And there are other students who are 18 who say, well, I don't have to worry about retirement. Everyone has to worry about retirement because there's going to come a time when you're not working and you need to be able to survive. And so we're going to look at ways to plan for your future at different financial instruments, different ways to invest, and ways to organize your money. Then we're going to look at a number of individual topics such as taxes and real estate transactions. And yes, we'll even cover the topic briefly of bankruptcy towards the end. Now, there's a few important points I want you to understand right from the start. First of all, there is no right answer on any questions you have. Very often, in a face-to-face class, we'll discuss a topic and the students will argue it, and then finally, some student will say, so what's the right answer? And my answer on these financial planning issues has got to be, there is no right answer. There is a best answer or a good answer for you. Every single one of us is in a different place. If we all won $2,000 in a lottery, it might be best for one person to pay off a debt. It might be best for another one to invest it. It might be best for another one to save it. It might be best for someone else to buy a piece of equipment that's going to enable them to produce more income. The answer for everyone is different. What we are going to do in this course is not give you the right answer, but give you the principles of financial planning and financial literacy that will enable you to apply them to your specific, peculiar, individual situation. And so the answer is going to be different for everyone. That's the first important point. The second important point. We're going to be discussing, obviously, a lot of financial issues. And I will tell you right from the get-go, I've been through a lot of financial issues and crises. I've been through a bankruptcy. I've been through a divorce. I bought a house that had a well fail on me within the first year, requiring a $10,000 new expense. I've had trees fall on my house. I've had trees fall on my car. There are always events that happen. I want you to know from the get-go that none of you, as a requirement of passing the course or getting a good grade in the course, need to reveal anything of a personal nature that you're uncomfortable with. We will have a lot of discussion boards, online discussion boards, where we're wrestling with some of these financial issues. If you're not comfortable sharing the fact that you went through a divorce or are considering bankruptcy or went through it, or have issues getting jobs because of a prison record, or have a judgment against you, that's not something you need to reveal, all right? So don't feel pressured to do so unless you're completely comfortable sharing that with someone else. And the last point is that I am not your financial advisor. I don't want anyone to take this course and then go buy a stock or sell something or get a credit card and say, well, Professor Simmons says this was a thing to do. I'm not doing that. Again, I'm not your financial advisor, and there is no one right answer. There are principles of sound money management that you will need to consider and apply to your life and make the decisions that seem best to you in accordance with sound money management principles. So that is a very brief overview of the course. As I said, I will post every weekend your next lesson for the following week. As soon as you're able to, attack that lesson. I will tell you that the very next lesson coming up actually has a lot of work involved, but it's a way to throw you into and immerse you into the topics of the course. So, with that, I need you to download the syllabus. Please read through it. I don't know what a teacher can do to get students to read a syllabus, but I'm going to beg you, read through it. It's long. It will help you get through the course, and then be ready to get to work this following weekend. That's it. Thank you very much. Looking forward to meeting with you every week.